The hearing was supposed to be JimJordan's arena. He held the microphone, the gavel, and the swagger of a man who built his career on volume. For years, he's thrived on interruptions, outbursts, and accusations hurled faster than his opponents could respond. That was his weapon, his shield, his signature. But this time, the script flipped. Across from him sat Representative Jasmine Crockett, calm, precise, unshaken. She didn't shout. She didn't flinch. She waited. And when the moment came, she struck with surgical precision. Jordan tried his usual tactics, bulldozing through legal points he barely understood, waving his arms, declaring things as fact without citing the law. He thought the room would fold to his bluster. But Crockett leaned in, cut him off, and dismantled him point by point. With each rebuttal, she revealed what many already suspected. Jordan wasn't arguing from strength. He was hiding behind noise. Then came the line, the one that froze him. Simple, clear, undeniable. The man who never stopped talking sat silent, lips pressed tight, eyes darting for an escape that didn't exist. The cameras caught all. The gavel couldn't save him. The shouting couldn't save him. He had been silenced, not by force, not by interruption, but by the exposure of his own ignorance. Within minutes, the clip spread like wildfire. Crockett and Jordan trended instantly. Headlines hammered the moment. Jasmine Crockett embarrasses JimJordan live on air. Jordan silenced after legal misfire. Crockett schools Jordan on his own stage. The tables had turned. Jordan, once feared for his aggression, was humbled, and Crockett, calm and relentless, emerged as the sharpest voice in the room. The day had begun like countless others with Jordan at the helm. Sleeves rolled up, voice booming before introductions ended. He thrived in the chaos, feeding the cameras sound bites over substance. He framed the hearing as a battlefield, barking accusations and slamming the desk for effect. Speed, volume, interruption, that was a JimJordan show. Across the table, Crockett remained still. No shuffling papers. No nervous glances. Just quiet, steady observation. She tracked every word, waiting for the opening. When Jordan rattled off buzzwords like constitutional overreach and legal misconduct, she didn't flinch. She let him burn himself out, his voice cracking under its own force. And then she leaned forward, her voice calm but razor-sharp. Mr. Jordan, with all due respect, what you just laid out isn't law. It's noise. The room shifted. Staffers froze. Cameras zoomed. The contrast was stark. Jordan shouting against Crockett's clarity. She calmly flipped to a marked page and exposed his errors. You've misstated precedent. You've cited authority that doesn't exist. And you've ignored principles every first-year law student learns. Jordan's smirk faltered. He tried to cut her off, but Crockett pressed harder. You keep saying constitutional violation. Show me the clause. Right now. The silence was deafening. Jordan shuffled his papers, stammering. It's Article 2, Executive Overreach. Everyone knows that. Crockett's response was surgical. Article 2 outlines executive powers. It says nothing of what you claimed. You either misquoted deliberately or you don't understand it. Which is it, Mr. Jordan? The trap was sprung. Jordan flushed red, fumbled his notes, and muttered excuses. Crockett countered with the actual text of Article 2 and precedent that proved him wrong. That's not my interpretation. That's the law. There's a difference. The room buzzed. Even Jordan's raised voice couldn't mask the unraveling. He grasped another case. Youngstown versus Sawyer proves my point. But Crockett dismantled that too. You've just cited a case that undermines your own argument. You've shown us you don't know the holdings, the reasoning, or even the implications. What you're doing isn't legal argument. It's theater. The chamber erupted in murmurs. Jordan shouted, "That's not true," but Crockett cut cleanly across him. "No, Mr. Jordan, that's the law. And every time you open your mouth, you prove you don't know it." By now, Jordan was visibly rattled. Tugging his sleeves, fidgeting with the microphone, his usual confidence evaporated. He muttered, "You're making it personal." Crockett's reply was lethal in its calm. "This isn't personal. This is professional. And the profession is law. Something you clearly haven't studied as deeply as you pretend. Jordan made one last desperate push. The bottom line is this administration is acting unconstitutionally, and it's my job to call it out. He sat back, nodding to himself. But no one nodded with him. The silence told the story. Crockett leaned forward, eyes locked on him. You keep using that word, unconstitutional, but you haven't cited a clause. You haven't cited a statute. You haven't cited a ruling. Do you know why? Because you don't know it. Jordan blinked, lips parted, but no words came. Crockett delivered the line that sealed the moment. Name the clause, Mr. Jordan. Right now. Name it. The room froze. The camera zoomed in as Jordan's hands fumbled through papers. Eyes down, jaw tight, face flushed. Nothing came. Crockett whispered, cutting the silence like glass. You can't. And that silence says everything. The man who prided himself on never being silenced was humiliated in front of millions. The clip went viral. Memes flooded in, Jordan with blank speech bubbles, captions like still waiting. TikToks remixed the silence into slow-motion knockouts. Headlines captured the moment. Crockett turns Jordan's bluster into silence. Inside Congress, staffers traded the clip. Lawmakers smirked in hallways. Late-night hosts mocked his fumbling like a student who hadn't done the reading. For years, Jordan's weapon had been chaos. But now silence defined him. Meanwhile, Jasmine Crockett's star rose overnight. Colleagues praised her clarity. Social media crowned her the winner of the day. The phrase, name the clause, Mr. Jordan, became a rallying cry, printed on T-shirts, repeated in interviews, trending as a hashtag. It symbolized accountability, that facts outlast noise. And that was the final irony. JimJordan spent years chasing viral clips with his shouting, but the clip that defined him wasn't one of his rants. It was his silence. Jasmine Crockett proved that in the halls of power, noise isn't strength. Knowledge is.